Kevin Pillar.
Yeah.
I know he told us that, like, obviously has the right to change his mind about retiring. At what point did you guys kind of reach out to his agent?
Well, he's a player that we've had interest in the past few seasons. Somebody that we feel like could fit our team very well. As a very good defender in the outfield and somebody who really hits left-handed pitching. And when we heard he was interested in playing, we engaged with him, and the deal got done very quickly. Kevin showed a lot of interest in wanting to be here, which we're very grateful for, and we're excited to watch him. Really excited to see how he looks this spring, and there's real competition to make the team.
When we just talked to him earlier, and he talked about wanting to be a leader, a presence for younger guys. It just felt very, very similar to Travis Jankowski, who you guys had in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Is there the importance of having a older guy who's been around who can be that mentor for Evan Carter, Langford, whoever else?
Yeah, absolutely. There's great value in that. I mean, my own personal experience, I've said this before, that I was surrounded by veteran players throughout my career that really helped me through tough times when I was younger, taught me how to be a big leaguer, and we want the same. We want our young guys to be surrounded by really good, solid veteran players that are good people, that are invested in the team, and embody the right traits and characteristics that winning players have. And Kevin, no doubt, fits that. So that we're thrilled he's here.
You guys have a lot of outfielders, both on the 40-man and non-roster invites, just kind of competing out there. What is your assessment of a lot of those guys?
Kennedy, it's a good question, because while I'm hopeful that our outfield is going to be very good this year, the reality is that last year Wyatt Langford was the only one who really performed at a level that was above kind of what we needed. And so we need some of these guys to stay healthy. We need them to perform at their accustomed level. And if not, we're going to have competition. This team is built to win, and we're going to have competition. So competition's a great thing, and we're looking forward to watching these guys compete. We're very confident in the group we have that they will bounce back and that they will stay healthy. But the reality is Wyatt is the one who performed the best last year, and we have competition out there.
Is there more competition in outfield this year than just the previous couple of years? Does it feel like to you, or it just feels like things were a little more set?
If players perform at their accustomed level, then obviously we've got our guys. But if they don't, there's going to be competition.
What have you seen from Jake and Jock at first base so far?
Jock is getting comfortable over there. We're getting him some reps over there. And this is not something we intend to utilize him a ton over there. But for Jake, the progress has been impressive. I mean, he's a hard worker. He's out there every day, taking ground balls, working on the fundamentals. And the play he made in the first game, the double play, was really impressive. One of the things that Bochy has highlighted is that because he's been a third baseman, Jake can throw, and we saw that the other day. And I think that gives him a leg up, and just having the confidence to be able to make throws in the infield. And so he's off to a good start.
What did you think of Jack yesterday?
Thought he was very good. I mean, obviously the stuff was hot. He was, it was coming out hot, and he looked really good. When he executed pitches, got some bad swings, and for him to continue to be able to work ahead in counts and then finish hitters once he gets ahead in the count is going to be key. But I really liked what I saw yesterday.
I know this happens in pro ball. Like, obviously guys get more comfortable as you kind of have more years, but he's just seems so much more comfortable this year than I guess we've ever seen.
It takes time, Kenny. I mean, he's still younger than I always relate it back to me. It's natural, and he's still younger than when I debuted, and so it's really impressive. I mean, there's and I can't understand what it's like being the number 2 overall pick and the pressures that come with that and the expectations, and he's just done a wonderful job of continuing to develop and staying the course. There've been bumps in the road, but really excited about his future, and he'll show us when he's ready and what role that's going to be, but yesterday was a great start. It was fun to see him.
Kenny was asking about all the outfield options.
Yeah.
The other day I was just thinking about all the pitching options.
Yeah.
Both in the rotation of the bullpen, and then in the infield, I mean, you got guys that can, a lot of these utility guys. It just seems like, I don't know, in 2023 they were great players, but depth was such a huge part of that season, and it just seems like this roster is very well positioned from a depth standpoint.
Yeah, Jared, it was a primary focus for us this winter to create the depth. Last year we got thinned out. There's no doubt that we got thinned out on the pitching side. We got thinned out on the position player side. And when guys had injuries or there was underperformance, and the combination of the two, we didn't have enough guys step up and really give us a quality level of performance while players were out. And so we've done a very good job. Our pro personnel department has done a great job of really adding depth to this camp. And our hope is that we have great competition and that we have plenty of depth at AAA as well, because we're going to need it. It's going to be well beyond our 40-man roster that we utilize this season. And every team that wins a championship has to have that, and for us it's critically important. So we're optimistic and hopeful that we've done our jobs in creating not only the competition but the depth.
And then what did you guys like about Sam Haggerty when you signed him? Like, what does he bring?
Similar to Kevin in some ways, that really a versatile player who can play the infield, play the outfield, a winning player. Really, we've watched this guy a little bit over the last few years, and just a winning player. The way he plays the game, plays with his hair on fire, and runs the bases, does the little things. And I think there's a real path for him to be a player that is in a utility role, maybe coming off the bench and helping us. We're excited to watch him this camp.
So you guys signed Kevin Pillar. Why, I guess?
Well, I'll start with he's a really, really talented player that's available. Right-handed bat, can play all three outfield positions. I had Kevin. I mean, he's a great teammate. Plays the game right, plays it hard, full throttle, which is what you love about him. And so he'll be here, competing for a job.
What did you get the sense of? I mean, we talked to him already, but about why he wanted to come back. I know he considered retiring, said he was probably going to, and then he said he had the right to change his mind, and he did.
Yeah, well, I've been there, so I know what he's talking about. Yeah, it's what he loves to do, and sometimes when you back off, then you miss it, and it didn't take him long to miss it, and he wanted to get back in. And I saw him last year. I thought he was swinging the bat and just moving around well, and still has game left. And the last thing you want to do is retire too early if you think you still have the game left. And he believes that, and we believe it, and that's why he's here now. But he's a guy that the way he plays, I think it's contagious. I just love how he goes about his business and how hard he plays.
He talked about being a veteran presence for the younger guys, younger outfielders. I mean, you had Travis Jankowski serve a similar role for 2 years, being a guy that Evan or Wyatt could look to. How important is it, even if it's just in camp or whatever, having a guy like Kevin or Travis in years past that can be that veteran?
Yeah, I think anytime you have a veteran, with the experience that he has, but as much as that, the knowledge that he can help bring to other players, just another pincushion for young players, to kind of talk about things, the ups and downs, and why he went through some of the things that he did as far as the ups and downs, and how that can help him. And I really believe that players are going to love being around this guy, because he comes every day to play, and that's his focus is to try to win the ball game, try to make a catch for a pitcher, or try to do something to help us win offensively.
How much do you think that thumb injury affected him last year?
I don't know. That's a question he he can only answer. I do know he has a tremendous pain threshold. You've seen him hit walls and stuff, and that's just the way he plays. And I saw him get hit in the face. He wasn't with me then, but he's such a tough guy, and again, that's contagious. I think how tough he plays the game.
You had said off the Kevin Pillar topic, you had said yesterday that Malcolm Moore is a learner, and he's kind of soaking things up. Obviously, that's probably important at every position, but for a catcher, how important is it to have that, I don't know, mindset and drive to want to learn?
Yeah, it's critical for a catcher. He's got so much on his plate, trying to handle a pitching staff, 11, 12, 13 different personalities, knowledge of not just the pitcher, how to handle them, but also the hitter that you're calling a game against, and then the offensive side. And man, he's just always trying to soak up information from everybody, and so for him to be around Higgy and Jonah and Bonhart, these guys, that's what makes these young players better. They're watching them, how they work, and just talking to them, and he's a guy that's going to ask a lot of questions. He wants to get better, and it's all about trying to be the best player that you can be.
I remember, I guess through the draft process, there were questions about if he would stick at catcher long term, and Kip said on the night of the draft that you guys weren't really worried about that. What is your kind of sense of his?
I feel the same. I think he's done a nice job receiving, just watching the bullpens and everything. You'll get to see him today. He'll get a few innings. We like to reward these guys that are doing nothing but catching live BPs or bullpens, and he won't get a lot of playing time. I've talked to him about that, and he told me, of course he gets it. He's a smart guy, and but it's all about doing what you can every day to become better, and that's what he does when he comes to the ballpark. You can tell just by the questions he asks and how he goes about his business.
What did you see last year from Walter Pennington?
Good sinker. Slider can be a bigger pitch for him. Change up. I think he's coming to camp, with even more control of all his pitches and early go, watching him. So, but I love him. I mean, we all love Walter. He's such a fun guy to be around, but also a competitor. He took the ball probably a couple of times when he was pretty tired, but we needed him. So he's resilient. A lot of good things about Walter.
Is he, in that mix for a bullpen spot? I mean, I guess
yeah, he's there. You're here. You're in the mix. It's competitive. We're not going to change that. We got some spots open in the bullpen, and he was up with us last year. So yeah, sure, he's in the mix.
Coach, so it seems like Adolis, I guess, is trying to make some swing adjustments. How do you balance, as a guy who's had success doing it a certain way, trying to figure out how to improve, but also not forgetting what allowed him to be successful and straying too far from his identity? I know these guys all want to be the 1,000 OPS and not strike out and hit all the home runs, but I guess, is there a balance there between going away from what you've been successful doing versus seeking the next answer, I guess?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. There's a fine line there. It really is. And a lot of times when you try something new, it gets worse before it gets better. It's just having the conviction to press through it. And, I guess the courage to make that trip to go all the way through this. Now, at the same time, there is competition. And Dolly, he's been a right fielder. He's coming off, it's not his best year. And so, we have talked to him, and so he took it upon himself to put a lot of work in, and you don't want to ever break a guy's spirit. It's put in the kind of work that he's done, trying to improve himself, and you love the fact that he's making changes to try to, to get his game back or become a better player. Now, you can't forget who you are either and your strengths, and so sometimes we get away from that. We focus too much on our weaknesses, and so we want him to be himself, be the dangerous self that he is. You always appreciate these players who are doing what they can to become better players, but there is a fine line there. So and we will talk about it, because last thing you want to do is wait till the last week, say, okay, we tried this, whatever. It's competitive, and so there will be a conversation about where we're at, mentally and physically.
I know a guy hits 500 in the spring, or a guy hits 050 in the spring. That doesn't necessarily translate to the regular season. Is there enough sample size and enough of an opportunity for, and not just adults, but any guy trying to make a significant adjustment to leave camp knowing, hey, I like this, let's take another regular season, or I'm not sure that it's ready to carry over, or because of the nature of spring training, is it tough to know for sure?
Yeah, you see it a lot. That's why sometimes players panic, because they're getting a lot of hits in spring training. They think they're using up their hits, and they only get so many a year. So, some guys are further ahead than other guys in spring training. But more importantly, I think you have to look at not so much the result, but what the mechanics are, and are they going to work? It could be on the pitching side, it could be on the hitting side, and so I prefer to look at the swing itself and see, okay, is that going to work? It may work in spring training. They may be getting their hits. Just give you an example. Last year, Duran got a ton of hits, but they were a lot of ground ball hits. So, that was a little concern leaving spring training. Okay, why? How come he's not getting the ball in the air quite as much as he used to? So, these are things that we have to do. That's our job as coaches.
How is the oblique? Yeah.
It's good. No, I feel really good. I think it's only going to be a couple more days. Doing a little more stuff today, so we'll see how it feels. But overall, it feels really good.
Refresh my memory. When did you first feel it? Do you remember?
It's been, there's never one swing or anything where I felt it. It's been a little tight for a week or two, but it's never felt bad. It's just like we've kind of said, it's more like a cautionary thing. It feels better now, and we'll kind of, the next couple of days we're going to kind of test it and see where we're at. So we'll see.
Bochy didn't sound worried. You don't really sound too worried right now, just kind of laying off and getting back to it in a few days. Is that kind of a correct assessment on my part?
Yeah, no, it's not a big deal at all. Like I said, it never felt bad at any point, never hurt, anything like that. It's more just let's lay low for a little bit. It's really early still. Not really missing too much. I'm able to track and stuff like that. I'm not missing much really, so it was a good time to kind of catch it and just stay in front of it.
This does feel like there's going to be a time to miss a week. This feels like the perfect time to miss a week, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're all the guys are getting 2 or 3 innings, so it's not a big deal. I'm missing 12 innings maybe of time, so it's not a big deal.